Hello, everybody, to the Nevermind podcast. We had an hour late start today, but that's okay. It's still podcast day. We're going to go on. Today, we're going to be talking about conspiracies and some of our favorite ones, and our opinions about that shit. How was your movie?
It was pretty good. I
Yeah,
mean, I was worried because a lot of places said that it was a little iffy. Like Rotten Tomatoes gave it bad reviews and stuff. But I mean, if you're a fan of The Conjuring or really any of the work that those guys do, I think it was pretty much on par with most of their work.
wasn't too scary for you.
Too scary for me. I don't really have fear.
You didn't jump at any.
My fears come from systemic like mental illness and not really from being. I'm not really afraid of anything.
Really,
Spiders would be the closest.
really.
Spiders and maybe being buried alive.
That's interesting.
Aside from that, I'm not really afraid of anything. I
Spiders
may
and being eaten alive by
no
spiders.
buried alive, buried
Oh,
alive.
buried alive. Okay.
Yeah, like just because I used to read a lot. Like I did all the research about the plague years when they when I did a research paper way back in high school on the plague, and they talked about how they used to bury people with the bells and stuff, so that they could ring them in case they were buried alive back before we embalmed people. Uh,
like
that
like as
really
like cows or whatever. Like if they start hearing bells, they know the dead's moving.
no. No, like you let's say you're rich, right? You would pay for so that you would have a bell that goes down into your coffin so
Mm-hmm.
that if they buried you alive on accident, because a lot of times they would think you were dead from the plague, but you'd really just be in a coma, and eventually people would kind of come out of the coma and just be buried alive. So rich people had little bells that they would attach to the coffin so they could ring it and get dug up before they died of running out of oxygen.
Oh, interesting.
So
Why do we not do that now?
well, because now we embalm people. So even if you were thought to be dead before you were buried,
You were
they
dead.
would embalm you and you would die while they embalmed you regardless. So you can't be buried alive now because of that.
That's interesting.
But
So,
there was a part in the movie that featured those underground bells. Didn't care for that because
oh
that's
really?
one of like two of my fears of all time, pretty much. But besides that, I'm not really afraid of
The
anything.
sound of people who were buried alive. That scared you.
Well, it's just unsettling, like the idea of it. I feel like I thought it was a really cool scene, which I don't want to talk about for people that haven't seen it, but the scene of it was pretty cool. But and even then, like I wouldn't say I was afraid. It was just enough to make me be like, "Ooh, that's creepy."
Yeah, that's cool. So we're gonna be talking about conspiracies because I think that we've been hitting the hard questions a little too hard lately.
Yeah, I'm good with a laid back, relaxing, nice,
Nice,
fun discussion instead.
fun discussion on things we both disagree on because I think for the majority of those like episodes we both agreed on the topic, right? Like our stand on things.
Right, right.
And we need something where we both disagree or people are going to keep coming back. They're just
Okay.
going to be like these
Well,
assholes just agree on everything. I don't want to hear that.
yeah, most of the things I think I'll disagree on most. You're safe on most conspiracy theories. There's a few that I believe in that I'm sure we'll get to today,
Oh yeah.
but for the most part, I don't believe in almost any conspiracy theory.
So Tuesday is I believe we're calling it Patriots Day now. 9/11.
Is that what we call it now?
I I'm late on the game on that one. I never
It,
called it
it's
Patriots Day.
it's funny because it's like we started the Patriot Act, which is one of the most un-American things of all time, based
Yeah.
on that. So calling it false false flag on Patriots Day. That's calling it Patriots Day feels really on. It feels a little on the nose for the government, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
So that's Tuesday, and I don't know if you want to talk about 9/11. You're
I'm good with it. So one of the things that really annoys me about holidays is like, I feel like if you keep just not that 9/11 doesn't deserve to be remembered, but if you keep
mhm.
making every day that something good or bad happens a holiday, eventually you're gonna run into like 14 holidays on every day of the calendar.
Yeah, like eventually we're just gonna have like 30 holidays a month.
Right, because we already have that with like month things like Rape Awareness Month and
Yeah,
LGBTQ Awareness Month, Black History Month, like, and
yeah,
all those are good, but I mean, it's always something going on, and Eventually, you're gonna be doubling
Well,
up
and
on
then
those, and it
like
feels funny.
corporations take it too. Like today's
Yeah,
fucking Subway Day, get your foot long.
get the for the $5 foot
Or
long, and
like
they do
it's
that in February
National
too.
fucking Donut Day, and everyone goes out and gets a fucking
Yeah,
like what?
like what the fuck is that? Like motherfucker, I'm a fat American. Every day is National
Yeah,
Donut Day.
every day is National Donut Day. I go to Krispy Kreme every morning. Where the fuck have you
The
guys been?
Antifa libtards will start the second civil war.
Probably. So
Awareness month. Yeah, it's now that's great, Musty. Yep. So for anyone that's wondering, September is raising awareness on awareness month.
raising
You,
awareness on
yeah,
awareness.
you have to it's 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 awareness of raising awareness causing too much awareness month.
That sounds
I'm
like
gonna be
Inception.
Yeah, I'm gonna be me and Musty are sponsoring that as a holiday month from now on.
Are you guys aware of awareness?
Are you guys have you heard of awareness, ma'am? Can I please talk to you for a moment?
Like go door to door, ma'am. Are you aware of awareness today? Here's a pamphlet about it.
Okay, so you want to start with the 9/11 conspiracy, huh? Jumping right into the real
We're
ones.
jumping in hard. Yeah.
Uh, so I can already, I mean, this is going to be, I can already tell you, I don't believe in any of the generic conspiracies.
Generic as
Uh,
in like it was an inside job
yeah, I
and
don't believe it was an inside job. I don't believe there was explosives at the base of the tower. I don't believe in the whole heat's not hot enough to like damage the steel, like all
the
that
steel
sort of stuff.
beams.
Yeah. All of that stuff is not really conspiracy. We can get into that. Are those
Yeah.
all? Which ones do you stand by as you believing personally?
Oof. Well, I mean,
Are
like,
you just checking them off the list? Like it was an inside job. They planted explosives at the base,
no,
and it's
no, no,
all a
no. I
scheme.
don't think there was. I don't think there was explosives in the tower at all. Um, the whole like the Pentagon thing though is kind of a little suspicious to me. How like
Oh, the size of the hole. That's a big one,
the
right?
size of the hole and how the plane was like completely like still in a plane shape, like looked
Yeah.
like it just like rolled up to the building, and the whole part about it like destroying the like sensitive
Right.
documents room and shit like that.
No, yeah, Musty's right. I didn't mean I didn't believe the heat couldn't melt the steel. I meant I think that's a cheap excuse because we all know that the planes hitting the building structurally damaged the steel to begin with, and even if it couldn't melt the steel, it certainly, like with the damage done to it, could have
It could have
weakened it.
bent
Yeah,
the
it could have
steel.
bended and weakened it, especially in an already weakened state. Is I guess what I meant.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
there's a guy on YouTube who proved that too. He was like, jet fuel burns at this temperature,
Yep.
steel melts at this temperature,
Right.
but here's the problem. And then he got a torch up to like a scaled
A steel,
model
yeah.
of steel beam, and he's like, even if it didn't melt it, it's still red hot, and I can still move it just
Yeah, you
like
can
it's
just bend
nothing.
it,
Yeah,
and it's and how much did the towers weigh? I mean, gotta be. I don't even
it
know
had
what
to
number
been
you would quad.
tons,
Tons of
Each
tons,
floor
like
had to been tons.
right. So if each floor weighs, I mean, that kind of weight on a malleable, uh, like a malleable fire-induced thing, you're weakening pressure points within the building. I don't think it's that unbelievable that it would collapse.
Right. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, but I do
You
think,
know,
I mean, it's an interesting theory, and people should look at it. Like I support conspiracy theories in the sense that everyone should look at things because you should always ask questions. Everything
yeah. I mean,
should have questions,
don't take anything by what some guy says. Like, look into it. Do
especially the
some fucking
government.
research.
I don't really believe in too many conspiracies, but the government will get like hide anything they can
Yeah.
hide.
I mean, I don't. I think it's safe to say not a whole lot of people trust the government.
Yeah, especially right now. We're actually at an all-time low in our history of
Yeah.
trust in the government, which is both good and dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Very
yes,
dangerous.
Loreline's right. No one is going to say that it wasn't used for false flagging because even with, we all know that we ended up in Iraq specifically
Mm-hmm.
after Afghanistan. Oh, am I a little quiet? Do you want me to come up? I can bring me up on my end like this, or you can bring me up on your
Wham,
desktop audio.
wham. I can. I'll bring up the desk. I turned it down
Okay.
because the
Nope, that's fine. Then I'll leave myself about here where I normally am at for time.
meow. How do I sound, everyone? Do I sound great? That's right. I did meow like a cat.
Yeah, you sound good on my end through Skype, but I don't know about through the desktop.
Yeah,
Hopefully that'll be better. We can turn it up on my end or King Cord's end. So
because
just let us know if it's
I'm trying the Streamlabs OBS beta, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. But I haven't streamed with it before, so
yeah, yeah.
we're testing it today. This is the second stream with the new computer. Pretty cool. Pretty
Does it
awesome.
just feel good to have? Like, doesn't it just feel good to have something that you can just like it boots quick, everything runs
Yeah.
nice and smoothly. I cannot wait. I don't know when I'll get the chance, but the next time I've come across 2 grand, I can't wait to build a new PC.
Yeah.
Not to run better, just because I love doing it. When King Cord moves his mouse around, Nixit disappears for a sec.
Oh, that's because I just reopened all my windows.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Lag time from that's bizarre.
No, it's because when I go over to hover on the thing and then it shows a little thingy, and it pops off everything off the desktop except for what I'm hovering over.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's
But
what
yeah,
it is because I had to redo my camera.
I don't think anybody can deny false flagging because we didn't have a reason to go to Iraq. We just made that up. Like the Afghanistan, I guess, made some sense, but it was launching the war and going after
Iraq. It made enough sense to dupe everyone.
Yeah,
and everyone at that time was kind of at the stage like, oh my god, we're like,
we let it happen. Yeah, we were so devastated. We wanted blood and we didn't care whose it was.
The
magic disappearing Nixit.
We all stood. What was the saying again? Stand together or something like that.
Yeah, like the magic disappearing Nixit is just like a normal day for me.
Yeah.
that's my normal day.
So
when the plane hit the exact place where the files are kept. Yeah, the Pentagon, the Donald Rumsfeld announcing the 2.3 trillion missing dollars, and they hit it right where the that is
isn't
really
that fucking suspicious? Like,
no, I you can't deny. I mean, if that wasn't a conspiracy, like if that just happened, I mean, how lucky. I mean, how just lucky.
What was it, like the week before 9/11? He came to the government and was like, "Hey, we are in a whole lot of more debt than we were. Where the fuck is this money going?" And they're all like, "We don't know. It was the banks, maybe." And then like that later that week, a fucking plane goes in and fucking crashes into that office. Like,
yeah, it's really bizarre. But there's also some things to know. Like, I don't tend to believe in the overall conspiracies that a lot of people believe in, but there's a lot of stuff out there that really does sort of point to and prove that even if we didn't do it as an inside job, that we had a lot of intelligence stating that we knew there was going to be an attack on U.S. soil and that we should have been doing more to sort of stop it, and that we just didn't do anything.
It's just like the conspiracy with Pearl Harbor. How we knew that Japan was going to attack Hawaii.
Yeah, we knew Japan
let it happen because we wanted to get into the war.
We knew Japan was coming to fight us, and we didn't know when or where. And instead of doing something about it, we just kind of let it happen, essentially. Similar with this point. You can almost imagine a side meeting when the first 2 planes hit. The sad thing is, I could like two planes hit, and then they just set up the third one. Technically, there's 4, I guess, but
yeah. The 2 planes that hit the tower were real, but then the third one they just kind of like rolled up.
Yeah.
So
it's like full of them. And in fact, the site I looked at earlier had top 10 9/11 conspiracies. So there's conspiracy after conspiracy there.
Yeah, I mean, well, because if you look at the photos of the Pentagon, that doesn't make sense. There would be plane parts everywhere, building parts everywhere. How is there a chain link fence like erupted like right after the accident? Like, what the fuck? So how can we make $2 trillion back with war and only 3,000 people have to die? Yep.
Yeah.
That's like the beginning idea of the movie right there. Like,
It's
okay, the movie's
just
gonna go
it's
like this, and this is why we're doing it, is because we need $2 trillion.
yeah, it's really, really hard to believe that we like I get how the towers fell. They're hard to defend. Maybe we didn't know they're happening. They're not military based, but it's really weird that dude like the Pentagon doesn't have like SAM missiles on it like the same way that like the White House has and
Yeah,
stuff.
because
They don't have surface to air defense.
isn't the Pentagon like a huge fucking like
It's huge. It's
government
enormous.
building? And I'm sure isn't it also a military base of some sort?
Yeah, I mean it's where the military like higher ups are at.
How do you not have any defenses on that thing?
Oh,
It's a weird time of jet scrambling.
yeah, it is. It really is.
And it was funny
Uh
too how like the hijackers like took over the plane with toenail clippers.
right. Well,
I was
right,
like,
right.
are you fucking kidding me?
Which we do know that they did kind of do that because the one flight that crashed in Pennsylvania they took down and they had at least we know that those were like they stopped it.
Yeah, because there was actually 3 planes, right? But
Okay, so
one of
yeah,
them, like a passenger, got up and like stood against the terrorists.
right, right. Uh, so on September 11th, 2002, they put up surface to air missile defense. Like really? Like you couldn't no one foresaw that being necessary ever? Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, it's. I honestly think that it was an inside job and it was also a fabricated excuse to get into war, which this country
I
loves to get into.
I don't believe it was an inside job. I can get behind the idea that whether it was I don't think it was an inside job, but I do think that they really heavily abused it and false flagged their way into a war that they wanted for things that were not related to it. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Musty,
That's
Musty says 9/11 was my jam for about 3 years. I dove deep in there.
yeah. I could just picture like knocking on Musty's door and he answers with like a shotgun in his hand and like papers all over his wall. What? Are
Yeah.
you from the government?
And like
No, man.
there's like
No.
red yarn
Yep,
like
connecting
attaching each
everything.
one of them. It's
And it
like,
all
you're
it all
interrupting my
comes
work.
Yep, and it all comes back to Musty, like he's at the center.
Yeah.
And it's me.
He keeps trying to figure it out. How is it me?
Get out of my head.
What happens when I black out?
Oh my god.
Like he woke up and his leg's missing. He's like, this has to do with 9/11.
Oh god. Only I dive deep. The only thing I dive deep for is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Dude, story of my life.
Yeah, right.
I go over to the all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet over by your house all the time and just
Oh
go
yeah.
down as long as I can.
All right, so I think we're pretty much done with 9/11. Let's move on to
I
a
mean,
new
you
one.
could do 9/11 forever, but yeah, as far
Yeah, I
as
mean
like
we can. That's like a whole nother podcast.
so I'm curious about this one if you've heard of it. Have you heard of the one that said that Paul McCartney like died in
Yeah,
the Beatles?
yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I don't.
Did you ever hear? Okay, so
I want to
I've
believe
never
it, but
heard
I
any
don't
of
think
the
so.
audio proof. Have you
You
heard any of
never
the
you never
audio?
heard the subliminal messaging?
No, I never heard the backwards record, and I never heard the Strawberry Fields Forever ending, where people said that John Lennon said he buried Paul McCartney.
Yeah, at the end you can hear like behind the instruments, like the instrumental part. It's John Lennon going, "I buried Paul out back."
Yeah, exactly. I never heard any of
I don't,
those.
because like when I listen to it, it's like it's almost like audio matrixing.
Wait. What's Tower 7? What do you have with Tower 7?
Oh yeah, tell us what Tower 7 is, Musty.
Well, Tower 7's where they built the new tower, right? That's the new one.
The
I think that's the new tower.
That's what they call it, Tower 7.
Yeah, because it's
I
at
thought it was
7
like the
World.
Forever Tower or something like that.
Right, but it got rebuilt at 7 World Trade Center. So like Tower 7, I think.
Oh.
I think. I don't know that, but that's what I've heard it called that.
Yeah,
I
let us
thought.
know in the chat. But like there's the whole the conspiracy goes is that the real Paul McCartney died, and they found a double, which apparently was pretty popular back in the day, like using doubles and shit, like even back in
Right.
World War II and shit.
Yeah, you can do it. They kind of say that everybody has like a couple twins out there
Yeah,
just because there's only so
I
many
mean,
genetic makeups.
I've seen a few of mine, and I've had people come up and tell me that they've seen, like,
Yeah.
apparently there's a security guard at the courthouse who looks just like me.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "When did you tell me you got a job at the courthouse?"
I literally once when my mom was on a dating site, I literally had a small like existential life crisis because there was a guy on there that looked so much like me in like his 40s that I was pretty sure that I went back that I must be future me going back in time. And I was like, why am I on a dating site? It looked just like me. Like if I had known this guy, I would have been like, "Oh, my mom had an affair or something." Like I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was trying
Yeah,
to I couldn't make sense of it. So like, yeah, it's
like,
just
is
weird.
that my real dad?
Yeah, dude, that's what it felt like. But I also look a lot like my real dad, so
Yeah. So the idea is that Paul was, I don't know if Paul was killed or he died, but they didn't want to
right.
break up the band or let the people know, so they got a double, and they're just like, "This is Paul now. You'll refer to this guy as Paul. If you ever call him something different, you will be killed." Not really. I just added all that shit, but
But
and
something like that.
and Sergeant Pepper's Lonely House Club Band, I think it is Sergeant
Yeah,
Pepper's
yeah, Sergeant
Lonely
Pepper.
House. And on the album, there's the lower portion of the album cover art where they showed some like flowers that are supposed to like spell out like the album name and stuff. But then you
Yeah.
see a yellow guitar, and apparently the story goes is John Lennon put the yellow guitar there to symbolize Paul McCartney's actual death, and then the whole thing with the at the end of Strawberry Fields,
Yeah.
you hear the sound of what sounds like John Lennon going, um, "I buried Paul out back this morning," blah blah blah. And there's like some pictures where they show like young Paul and they're showing older Paul,
Yeah.
and people today are kind of saying like older Paul's not really looking like Paul McCartney anymore.
Yeah, and the music kind of changed because they just happened to have made like a few shifts in their sound right at that time, and
Yeah, and like then like after that, Paul started doing a lot more solo things too. Like
yeah,
he would like, I don't know if they called it featuring back then, but he would go and play with other people too.
right.
But I don't know. I feel like he's never died. I feel like the Paul we have is the real Paul.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that too. That's one we can both agree is we can
Yeah,
stamp bullshit on that one
yeah.
together.
We're gonna stand bullshit on that one. I really
Oh,
want to
we,
believe
we
it.
should we should get a graphic for that for when
We
we do these. Like you click it, and it just stamps
it's
bullshit
like
on the screen.
boom bullshit.
I could do that too with I'll teach you how to use GIFBot. We could make one. Like my
Yeah,
rage screams, we could definitely get a PNG of a bullshit stamp
yeah.
so to do when we both agree on
Let's
one.
do that. That sounds awesome.
All right,
Oh
let me
yeah,
get caught up on Musty Bruce's
yeah.
thing.
Let's do
So
this.
Tower 7 was one of the connecting buildings attached to the main two towers. It was a command center for the FBI and emergency services was supposed to, but on that day it was not used. It ended up catching fire and had no damage sustained by the planes, but still caught fire and 5 hours later fell from only the fire alone. There's a famous video from the BBC where the reporter stood in front of the tower reporting its fall when it was 7 or 8 minutes before it actually fell. Oh shit. Is also the building that fell in free fall, which is apparently impossible. Wow, interesting. I
Conspiracy.
was I was actually named after Paul McCartney. It was supposed to be called Lennon, but he died a month before I was born, and they thought that would be in bad taste.
Oh, who said that one?
Musty.
Musty. You were named after Paul.
Hmm. Interesting.
Mm. Oh shit. Oh shit.
I freaked out my
So yeah,
camera.
we both agree bullshit on that. How about this one? The Princess Diana conspiracy.
Oh God, which one? That one's got a few too.
Speculations regarding the circumstances surrounding the death of Princess Diana has been in existence since 1997, when Dodi Fade, I don't know if I'm saying that right, put
Yeah.
the forth the idea that rogue elements of the British Secret Service had taken upon themselves and decided that the relationship between the princess and the Fade threatened the British monarchy and Britain itself. As the theory goes on, rogue agents were driving a white Fiat Uno. I don't know why they call it Uno. Purposely blinded and disoriented the driver of Diana's Fiat after the fatal crash in Paris underpass, and rogue agents disappeared a sample of blood from the intoxicated person into the wreckage to make it seem that Paul was drunk.
Interesting.
Paul was the driver, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when Princess Di was killed in the crash, but I don't know, like that just seemed. How do you believe in that one? I mean,
No, I don't know, because I know, like,
it's confusing because Princess Di is still one of the most beloved people.
I
That
know
one
they
is
have a
true and
lot
bullshit
of.
all in one. Oh,
I know, like, the British monarchy has a lot of secrets.
yeah, but Musty maybe can weigh in more on that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
was
I
hoping
mean,
Musty would too, because Princess Diana.
Princess Di was a complete bitch. I thought that yeah. See, like in America, we were like everyone talked about her like she like
Like, she was an
worshipped the ground
angel.
she walked on. Yeah,
Yeah, we were
we were we
like,
were
she was like a godsend
we
angel.
were we were all told that she was pretty much the best person ever invented.
Yeah, she was like, it's almost as eerie as how we feel about the princess now with Prince Harry.
Yeah, but that's not fair because the princess now is from America, right? She's
I don't
American.
I don't think she is American.
She's not.
She's not from England though. I think she's from, like, I don't know, I could be wrong. Musty, is she from America?
I could have sworn that an American
No, she
former
was
actress. Yeah,
horrible.
she's oh,
She's
she was never
she's
American though.
Canadian.
Was she maybe she lived
Musty
in America
says
while she
she's in
acted?
Canadian. She probably did some acting roles here in America, but she's Canadian.
Yeah. Meghan Markle, right? Yeah. Meghan Markle.
Don't-
Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
But yeah, we here in America, we like worship the ground she walks too.
Meghan, Duchess of Sussex is an American-born member of the British royal family. She was born in America, but maybe lived in Canada, maybe the other way.
She's from everywhere.
Yeah, that already sounds like we're stumbling onto a conspiracy.
We got another conspiracy on our
Yeah,
hands.
I don't fucking need that shit.
Where the fuck is she from?
The secret art of sucking up food like a vacuum.
I'm gonna say plausible on this one, really.
Yeah, I feel like it could be like I mean, governments have no first world government has ever been opposed to spilling a little blood if it has a benefit to them.
Right? I mean, it's definitely. Musty says it's definitely plausible. Shout
Yeah,
says only
it's more
secret I
plausible
got.
than a lot of ones we touch.
Yeah. Shout says the only secret I got is the secret art of sucking food up like a vacuum.
But the UK is better at keeping things secret than we are. Like America,
Way better.
every time we do something terrible, we like come out like 5 or 10 years later being like, all right, we did this terrible thing. And like,
Yeah, exactly.
like it's
the whole
common
thing
knowledge
is
that we
England
like,
knows how to shut their mouths up and not talk about something.
it's like literal common knowledge every time that American has backed a dictator or thrown a coup. Like we just we're just open with that shit. We're like, yeah, we sponsored that coup and got control of the government. What about it?
Yeah,
Like,
it's almost
what?
like here in America, we have this urge to whip our dick out and go, yeah, we did that. Yeah,
That's
we did that
America's
10 years
specialty.
ago. Like, even in our military, we tell our military personnel when they first start, it's like anything and everything that you experience here in the military, you cannot talk about until 10 years after your service.
Right.
And what happens is even during their service, they're like, yeah, we did that. Uh-huh. I did
The
that
royal
personally.
family is super racist.
They are super rich. I was actually watching the conspiracy show on Netflix. Watching one of the kings there was like from Germany. Can't remember his name, but he was like a Hitler supporter. And then when it like came out that he was a Hitler supporter, then he like stepped down from being king. But then he like went over and became like a helper of the Nazis and shit. Like he helped the Nazis out.
Shout, war is just dick waving, and the bombs and bullets are all shaped like dicks. There's just dicks everywhere.
It's called fucking with
There's
people.
dicks everywhere.
That's pretty much it. Like my noise gate, am I getting cut off?
You must be. Maybe it's too low. Too high, I guess I meant.
Too low, too high. All right, you're gonna disappear for a second, okay?
I'm gonna disappear for
Oh
a second.
no, I actually managed to get it before you disappeared for a second. Maybe if I like here, filters. I love how I love how I like mindlessly did the McDonald's like chime there. Ba 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 da ba. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
What did we set the close and open to? I think wasn't it like close like 40 and
Well,
open was
yeah, it
50?
just depends on where your mic's sitting. Like while you're talking, watch for where your voice is at and set the open to you want them both set to like right below your normal talking voice essentially.
Okay, so I'm gonna say open at.
Hopefully you guys don't get too much background noise from mine cuz Skype doesn't even have built-in noise gate. So hopefully our house is pretty quiet for the most part, so you shouldn't get too much, but sponsored.
Okay, I'm hoping that will work. Right, Mia. Okay, yeah. Just keep letting me know in the chat then if it happens.
You know which one we can just knock out and call bullshit, I hope, as well?
What one is that?
Chemtrails, right?
No, I believe in chemtrails.
You think chemtrails are a thing?
I do.
Why?
I do. There was a situation, I believe in Canada, where a couple of jets were going over some of the farmlands that were thought to be empty land, like it wasn't owned land.
Yeah.
And a small section of that land was owned by a farmer. And after those jets went by and they left their chemtrails, the farmer went out to tend to his stocks, and when what he found on top of his stocks was a gelatin substance just covering all his like his fields of like corn and I think it was like soybeans and shit. And he picked it up and it was like real oily and jelly like.
Okay.
And then it started irritating his skin. And then he decided to take some more of it to like take it home and test to see what it is. And he basically put a flame to it and it like went woof. There's a whole video of it on YouTube.
Okay. But how do we know that was a chemtrail and not just like, what if they were just testing something like new, like a new napalm or something, and just thought
Isn't
that was
that
empty?
still technically chemical?
Right, but chemtrails is the idea that isn't that the one where they're
Chemtrails
like,
is, are you saying like artificial clouds and shit?
yeah, like the ones trying to change the weather and like drop every plane that flies overhead with the water vapor behind it is really not water vapor, it's chemically altering the world.
I don't know about that shit. I mean, I know they just spray a bunch of shit on us all the time.
Right. But I mean, like,
but
sure,
there
there's
is
probably
they
some.
did test. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Al Gore, but he went to one of the ice caps and shined a giant laser in the sky, and he actually was able to like prevent a hurricane from happening. For real, dude. Happened not that long ago.
Yeah, that sounds super fake.
They're putting chemicals in the water. They're
Yeah.
turning the frogs gay.
Dude, Alex Jones is my favorite comedian in North America.
He's fucking hilarious. I don't.
Oh, he's so funny.
He is funny.
It was on InfoWars. Oh my god. I was
on InfoWars.
What we were just talking about, Musty, weren't you the one just talking about how we were playing you play the game like which of the 4 Alex Jones thing is fake, or was that
No,
you and me, Corey?
no, that was Musty. He was like, I
Okay,
can't
that's
remember
what I
what it
thought.
was, but it was like fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like we were trying to decide which one was the fake one, and it's
Yeah.
impossible because they're so
Cause yeah,
ridiculous.
they're all fucking like out off the hand, fucking out there, man.
Okay. So if we can't agree on chemtrails, like the chat is, surely we can agree that flat Earth is nonsense.
Flat Earth is complete total bullshit.
Right, and everyone should believe that, right?
Yeah, I hope everyone here in the chat room, everyone visiting
I
the
I
stream
watched a
here,
documentary on it,
yeah, they
and
actually made a documentary on it.
yeah, I watched. Well, it was more like a little piece, like it was a news story
Oh,
documentary
okay.
piece, and all the people were being like, they went to a convention about it, and they were all sort of like
Yeah,
talking
right.
about how like,
Musty Bruce,
they,
right there. John Kerry went to Antarctica and deflected a typhoon.
oh my god, that's terrible.
Dig 3 holes and wait for the sun.
But with Musty's so funny. Uh, but yeah, like sure, like the flat Earth convention they were at, like everyone was like, yeah, we hold conventions because we're still all too nervous to really talk about the way we think in public. I'm like, motherfucker, you should be embarrassed to talk about the way you feel in public.
Oh my god.
Like
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous. Okay, I'm glad we can bullshit mark
Well,
that
like
one.
there was a video I was
We've been to
watching where
space. We can see there's
yeah,
literally a 24/7 NASA cam up in
there's
space.
a
Like
live stream of the fucking
yeah,
from the space station.
yeah, and you'll never convince me that that's all faked for just the end of believing the Earth
Yeah.
is flat. Oh
Dick
god damn it,
Dick
Dick
Beard.
Beard.
NASA's fake.
NASA's fake. Well, you heard it here first, folks.
We've been shown up. No, like seriously, like I was watching a video and they were like, there is no ice caps. It's actually just like a giant ice wall around the edge of the
Right,
Earth.
right. That's what they believe, like that
And I was
it's
like, what?
ice in the middle, and that there's ice in the center, there's ice in the middle.
Yeah, and it's like
Or,
no.
sorry, ice on the outside and ice in the center.
Yeah, and then like another
Wait,
thing was like
that's almost as good as
they
sperm
believe the other
post.
planets are spheres, but they don't believe that our planet.
Right. That's the really bizarre thing is that they do believe everything else is spherical, like sphere. Well, what is that? Why would you believe that?
Yeah, like that's
What a weird
insane
choice.
as shit.
Uh,
Ice wall is real.
Composites. The composite, yeah. They always tag that with a composite image. It's in the Bible. The ice wall's in the Bible. It's not even real. It's not even a true thing.
We need an
Oh
example.
my God. What passage is that in? Is that right before they say that when a woman is on her period, she should sit in a separate house because if she touches anything, it will become unclean? Because that's a real Bible verse.
Is that really?
Yeah, that's in
insane.
Leviticus. Well, it's either in Leviticus or it could be in Deuteronomy. Both Leviticus and Deuteronomy are ridiculous, so it could go in either one.
Yes, Jesus said in Matthew, "What's the big fucking wall over there?"
And then Jesus said, "Go with my flock to the giant ice wall and make sure that it never falls, because then the White Walkers will come." Like that. Is that what was that in the Bible?
The White Walkers. Okay, so let's move on to a different one.
Well, hey, real quick, while we're on the topic of ancient, we were just happened to be talking about biblical. Yeah, they found something in 1945 that people don't really tend to talk about. Winter is coming. Hold on. Let me real quick just catch this. In biblical cosmology, the firmament is a structure above the atmosphere and Earth, conceived as a vast solid dome. According to the Genesis creation narrative, God created the firmament to separate the waters above from the earth and from the waters above the earth from the waters below the earth. Okay. So okay. So I could see how that would be considered yeah, that's funny. It's a sort of flat earth theory, but couldn't the firmament just be spherical? Like, does it have to be? I guess they use the word dome, and a dome is technically a half circle. So, well, it does have some basis in. I mean, unfortunately, I don't believe in any religion, so that's unfortunate for your argument for me. But other people, that might be a really good argument for. If you were a religious person, that might be a more like interesting argument. So I get that.
Yeah. I can see how that can be misconstrued.
Yeah, no, I mean, for real. Obviously, I'm not religious, but for someone that was religious, that would be a really interesting concept. So a bowl, yeah, a dome, a bowl, a half circle, all the same.
I think it's hilarious how Shout keeps like putting food related shit in the chat.
He must be hungry today.
I know, right? Bowler.
So as we bowler. While we're on the topic of biblical stuff, real fast. So in 1945, they uncovered a disputed religious gospel. Let me get the name. Some of you might know it already because it was a big deal when they first found it. It was found musty, I believe, in the British Library. Gospel of Philip, referring to essentially that talked about how Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene and actually had 2 children. Yeah. Where that's like left out of a lot of like lore. Mm-hmm. But they found something in one of the Gospels from about 1,500 years ago, back in 1945, that said that Mary Magdalene had essentially been Jesus's partner and that they had had 2 kids together. Wouldn't that be sort of a weird thing?
Yeah, that would be very weird. He likes pee-pee cutting and food baths.
Yeah, but I'm glad I got my pee-pee cut. Like, I would never shame
God
anybody.
Is a little weird.
I would never shame anybody, but it's not that I am worried about it, but I definitely think that uncircumcised penis look like angry anteaters. They kind of like they just look like scary anteaters to me. But that again, I would never shame. I just think it's funny
how you've stared at an uncircumcised penis long enough to
haven't
compare it to an animal.
You haven't stared at an uncircumcised penis?
I've seen that. I've glanced at one, but I don't like stare at it, no.
Well, then you should stare at an uncircumcised penis a little longer because guess what? If you photoshopped an anteater's head onto a penis or vice versa, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Well, next time you get a hold of one, let me know so I can come over and stare at it.
Looks like a Garaboid. I have a few friends that are uncircumcised. Oh, it does look like a graboid. A graboid, like the fucking from the graboids, the sand lizards from Tremors. Yeah. A large spoon with an angry anteater on the end. For real though. I'm just saying.
Speaking of lizards.
Oh no.
Let's get into the lizard.
We're jumping right to the lizard people.
Lizard people conspiracy. You ready for this?
Oh, I'm never ready for the lizard people because that one's ridiculous.
I beg to differ, sir. According to this theory, the movers
at least
and
some of them I could get behind
around the world, Oscar-winning actors, Grammy-winning singers, corporate executives, politicians.
Why are you putting those in quotes like
because
those jobs
this is
don't
what's
exist?
This is what's in quotes on the article I'm reading.
Why are they okay? But you're putting them in air quotes. That's really different from normal quotes.
Well, you want me to do like this?
No, when you're reading a quote, you just say quote end quote. You don't put air quotes around them.
I feel like that's way more to.
No, it's more
too much more work.
Right, but the air quotes make it sound like you're joking. Like air quotes are what you do. Like if you were like,
you can't hear me joking through the tone of my voice.
No. I know, but I'm saying you're not joking. You're telling a fact right now. Like. You would use air quotes if you were saying like Nicolas Cage is an actor. Like that would be where you use air quotes. Like,
I've already been clipped.
Hold
on, I gotta watch this too.
I gotta watch the clip.
You've stared at an uncircumcised penis long enough to.
You haven't
compare it to an animal.
You haven't stared at an uncircumcised penis?
I've seen that. I've glanced at one, but I don't like stare at it, no.
Well, then you should stare at an uncircumcised penis a little longer because guess what? If you photoshopped an anteater's head onto a penis or vice versa,
I say it's so matter of fact.
Tell the difference.
Well, Next time.
Oh
Just
my
take out your
god,
answer.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Watch Joe Rogan's podcast. Dude ain't human. Oh my god.
So okay, I'll work on my quoting. Okay, but basically everybody who is famous or in power
Let's see.
are actual extraterrestrial reptilian humanoids that are capable of shifting their shape. These humanoids
Ridiculous.
eat flesh, drink blood,
Ridiculous.
responsible for great deals and tragedy throughout history. For an example, the Oklahoma City bombing, the Holocaust, the 9/11 attacks, and more. This theory is brainchild of a New Age philosopher named David Icke.
Yeah, have you ever watched David Icke's special?
No, this is the first time I'm ever hearing of David Icke, actually.
Yeah, why don't you go watch like a Netflix special on him and listen to him talk for a while and tell me he's not just like somebody's been smoking a little too much.
See the guy who was on the History Channel when they were talking about UFOs, and everything
There's a
they
good
say he just
chance.
goes aliens.
No, not that guy. Not
Oh.
that guy. Yeah, he makes Alex Jones look like the sane guy. It's true.
Oh, really?
He is a lunatic.
I should check that out then.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it's really just good for a
I've
laugh
s-
to watch him.
I've seen the videos though of like where like lizard people fuck up and they lose their shape
Yeah.
for a second.
No one's ever seen that because that's never happened.
No, there's videos on YouTube.
Yeah, there's also videos of you on YouTube of people shooting themselves in the foot and like doing nonsensical stuff that they Photoshop in later as well.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like videos that are photoshopped, and then there's videos that are real that have people who slip up on their shape that they're trying to
But
hold,
how
and
do
they
you
turn
know
into a
they're
lizard
real?
for a second. I mean, you just gotta watch it, and you'll know.
No, that's definitely not. That's not how that works.
Yeah, that's how it works, dude.
You can't tell if something's real
You're
by
telling me
watching it.
you can't tell the fake from the truth?
Not if it's a good enough job. How do you guys feel about AI? We have a whole episode on AI
Yeah, we
that you
do
can
have.
check out on YouTube or on iTunes if you'd like to.
It's actually on it's on YouTube because Twitch
Oh,
Twitch
that was-
expired it.
yeah. You're right. But on YouTube,
But yeah, YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes.
yeah, you can go. We actually have a whole episode on it.
A whole
We
2.5
talk about it
hours.
pretty often. It's a 2.5 hour special we did on only AI, and I think everyone has a great mixture of excitement and fear of AI. At least for me, I am super into it and excited and developing it. But anytime you develop another consciousness, it's a little frightening.
So did you see that episode of the Joe Rogan podcast where Elon Musk was on and they were both smoking weed?
I actually haven't. That's one that everyone has told me I need to watch. I just haven't sat
Yeah,
down.
you gotta watch it. Like
It's on my list.
I didn't know Elon Musk
That's
smoked
really
weed, but like when you watch that, he like looks like he's been smoking weed like all his life.
How could he not be smoking weed? The motherfucker's like, I'm going to go to the moon, and you're like, okay.
He's like, I'm gonna make my own car and I'm gonna put it in space.
Yeah, for real. He sounds like, if anything, I would be like, that makes sense.
I'm gonna make the world's greatest battery, and then eventually we'll all just run off of my batteries.
He never took it in.
I thought you weren't like a Elon Musk fan.
I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan,
Yeah.
but I think what he does is important. I just don't.
You just don't like him like as an individual.
Well, I just think that he's really brilliant, and I don't feel
But
like.
you just don't like his cockiness.
Well, nobody should like that, but I would just really like to see him.
I like his
feel
cockiness.
I feel like he spends so much time not doing things that he could be doing.
Like what else is there that he could be doing?
He made the car and shot it into space, and
Okay, yeah, that was kind of like a gloating thing.
right. But you didn't have to. He could have, motherfucker could have like cured a disease while he was doing that. Probably.
Like he could have helped Sally here with cancer, but instead you're
like,
fucking
they're
shooting
like,
cars in
Elon
space,
Musk,
man.
Are you gonna cure this disease today? And he's like, I can't do that today. I'm building a car to shoot into
It's like,
space. And like,
ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna squeeze that in my schedule.
yeah.
I gotta shoot this fucking thing in space.
That was clout at its finest. Exactly. Like, I feel like it was like a diss track. I can't wait for Elon Musk's version of MGK's Eminem diss. It's gonna be great, you
Yeah,
guys.
it's gonna be awesome.
When Elon Musk goes at Eminem.
And MGK at the
Exactly.
same
He's
time.
he's just rich. Like he just pays people to do stuff for him.
Let
I
me
mean, that's the most American thing you could do. I mean,
let
that's
me
really
ask you real
capitalism, but
who whose side are you on with that like diss track battle with
no,
Eminem and
I mean,
MGK?
do you mean whose side am I on?
Like, who do you think won, or who do you think
Well, no,
came out with the
we
better
haven't
song?
we haven't heard Eminem's new diss track. I think that
We haven't. I thought his is out.
well, he had Kamikaze out where he just
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
made fun of him. MGK's problem for me is that I guess okay, there's two problems I have. One is for each of them. God damn it! Hopefully you guys don't hear the sirens too loud.
yeah.
MGK, I think, is kind of a crybaby about it all. I think
Yeah,
it's weird that he cared enough to write an entire song. And Musty caught the word there. Rap Devil was a good track. It was a well designed, good track for MGK. I mean, it was probably realistically, I would argue, the best thing that MGK has ever produced in his
yeah.
entire life.
I mean,
Now
it
that being
sounded good, but like the
yeah,
lyrics he wrote was just like, what? What do you? Is this a diss track, or are you
yeah.
like praising him this whole fucking
Oh,
time?
Digbeard's right too. It's all about that. It's staged for record sales, but beyond that, what I could see why MGK was mad. 'Cause a lot of people are like, oh, why is he coming at M? But if you really read up on the story, Eminem tried to blacklist him, probably because he just didn't like him, or he did something to Eminem they didn't like, which wouldn't be on my to-do list regardless. But Eminem did use his power as a high up official to try and shelf him, like from being put like he's banned from certain going on certain shows because like I think he talked about Sway, which is does a podcast on what the fuck is it called? I don't listen to radio anymore. Sirius, which I think is a serious one. But I get why MGK is mad because Eminem really threw weight at him for something I don't really know about. But yeah, Eminem took a shot at him in 2012, and it was so long ago. It's just a weird revival, and I get why he's mad that Eminem tried to shelf him and tried to come at him with his weight, but he still makes money. Like MGK is a successful rapper.
Yeah,
That's where air quotes are great. So I just don't.
I feel like you should have said begin quote end quote.
Yeah, I just don't I don't get it. I can't agree with that, Dick Beard. I'm actually a huge fan of Eminem.
I mean, this is what I got when I listened to MGK. And I watched the music videos, and it was basically like they found an abandoned building with a dirt lot. He had a shovel.
Dude, no, they had to do that because he was on tour, I think. That's why he's between the buses. Like I think he had to stop like a tour and just get out and do it.
Well, I mean, it still looked like shit. Like you, I
Right.
mean, if you're
Well,
if
because
if you're gonna put
they
out a
wrote
diss
it.
track, you need to like at least wait till you're off tour so you can have a
Yeah.
good fucking video. Like,
The impressive thing I'll give him with MGK is that, as far as I can tell, he penned, wrote, and produced and put a music video all together in like a couple days, like literally like 3 to 5
well, I mean,
days.
it shows. I mean, it would be impressive if he had a good song, but
See, that's just unfortunate too because nobody should go. There's a few people I would never pick fights with, and people like Eminem and Nicki Minaj would be on my list.
yeah. But like what I heard basically was like
I don't think M needs
Eminem,
to.
you're good, you're awesome, you made money. They made a movie about you. Quit whining about it. And then he kept turning around and say, "Let's talk about it." Like, hey, why don't you, how about you and me go get a therapist and we can work on this friend relationship? And it's like,
I,
that's not hard at all. That's not cool, dude. Like, what the fuck?
I just kind of thought that. See, I don't believe that M ever fell off. I think realistically that no one. I've never seen a band match the same intensity in every sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen a band do that. And so I
Let's
don't
talk
think
about
when
fake
people
NASA.
say like M fell off, I think that you'd have to say that about every band that's ever existed. Like,
Yeah.
you know who bought the new Metallica album? Fucking nobody. You know who bought the new like Bullet for My Valentine is total shit now. Like lots of bands fall off essentially because they can't sort of they can't keep that same intensity they get. And what M has consistently done is been angry. He's an angry person and he
Yeah.
vents his anger in his music. And similar to bands like Blue October, fans pick up on that, like that feeling, the raw passion that they bring. So even if Eminem's not as poppy and as popular and as edgy as he might have been back in the day, that
Yeah.
anger, that intensity he brings to his tracks, that makes his artistry good to me.
I mean, I'm not going to be the guy and say Eminem's like the same Eminem he was back in the day, because he like his sound has definitely changed and he's gotten older, and but his even though his sound has changed, some of the stuff he's producing now is good. I don't think all of it's good. I don't think all of it's as good as what he used to do in the past,
Right.
but I still
I
think
agree with
he's
that.
10 times better than MGK.
Well, I bet if you ask somebody, nobody could even name an MGK song. I don't even
I
know
can't
that
name one.
I can't name an MGK song off the top of my head. I know I've heard one.
Yeah, I
He's a
know I've been
Midwest rapper.
forced to hear one.
Yeah, he gets played around here. He's a Midwest rapper, but
Yeah.
I, for the fucking life of me, could not name one MGK song. Whereas almost anybody I know could name like 42 Eminem songs.
Oh yeah, I can fucking go off of like fucking 8 albums over here.
Yeah, you could name like every album, every song he's ever done.
All
But
right.
anyway,
That
that being
that was a
said,
nice side discussion. Let's get
I'm
back to our
never gonna,
conspiracies.
I'm never not gonna back M. Maybe M's a lizard person.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't like chinchillas because you have to give them dust baths. That seems
Ugh,
annoying. I don't want to
I don't want
dust
to do
bath
that.
anything.
That sounds
They're like
so
they're like poisoned by water.
so we both we both have different views on this lizard people.
Well, that's because it's ridiculous. I think we
I
should have the same view on the lizard people.
I don't know. I still think Paris Hilton and Britney Spears and a bunch of other favorite celebrities are lizards.
Wait, I'm sorry. Paris Hilton, for all of the things that she does, she's a druggy, like she's like kind of a druggy slut. Like, you think that's what they're doing with their massive power?
Well, I mean, there's videos of Britney Spears and Paris Hilton who like slightly change. There's even one of President Bush who like looks at the camera and that's when he loses his shape for a second. So I was just quoting those really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Best clone ever.
okay, so there's we talk about it a lot. I don't know if we want to go over. You want to go over the Kurt Cobain conspiracy?
Anyone that watches the show probably has it. Both of our opinions. Although it might be confusing on my position because I don't believe in any of that, but I also do tend to make a lot of Courtney Love jokes like about that.
Yeah.
Check out
Okay,
the
so
videos on YouTube.
we can do just a quick recap. You don't believe the conspiracy, and I do.
Yeah, I think Kurt Cobain
I
killed
like
himself.
at the very worst, you believe that maybe Courtney helped him commit suicide.
Yeah, I believe that if Courtney Love was involved, it was because Kurt was in a lot of pain and she loved him, and he said, "I can't do this anymore. I need your help," and that she helped him.
See, like you just believe in love, and you believe in that everyone has good in them, right?
Just to be clear, I don't believe everyone has good in them. In fact, I tend to be quite the opposite.
But you believe Courtney Love has good in her?
I mean,
Like
she had
good in.
she had Kurt Cobain in her. He's pretty cool. He's good. Zing,
Bazinga!
bazinga. But
That should be another thing we get. Like, just push a button. It's like bazinga.
But yeah, like I don't believe that everyone has good in them, but I believe that people do love each other and that sometimes people need help. Yeah, I actually believe the opposite. Loreline's right. I actually believe there's bad in everyone and that we all do our best to control the bad that's inside of us.
So the way you were seeing it is like instead of her like doing it out of the kindness of her heart, she was actually enjoying it.
Not necessarily in that case. I think that I think she did it out of kindness. I think that when you see someone suffer long enough and that they can't get help, that you have to respect somebody's wishes. To be honest, I don't know why we don't just like have some form of like I'm all for mercy killings and stuff, and I think that should all be legal.
Yeah.
Normally,
Yeah.
obviously, when people are sick
Like
or dying,
doctor assisted suicides.
yeah, I think doctor assisted suicide should be a thing because I don't understand why it's more natural or more enjoyable or more humane to let someone suffer for weeks on end not being able to breathe than it is to just give them a dose of something to just finish it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah,
So
you did, Laureline.
my stand on the Kurt Cobain conspiracy is I believe Courtney had him killed, and it was covered up, and the police fucked up everything, and that's why they thought it was a suicide.
Have the crew of the Challenger been found alive and well?
Have the crew of the Challenger? What are we talking about? Is this like a space flight?
The Challenger is the one that blew up.
Oh yeah. But they didn't go into orbit though, right? Like they blew up in the atmosphere.
Yeah. They blew up before they got to orbit.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to take the political view of somebody named Moneybag 73?
Where are you seeing Moneybag 73?
Hold on, is that the video for me? Oh, I can't click the link. What the fuck?
Oh, the YouTube link?
Yeah,
Here, let me get this real quick.
I'm just gonna fucking
Alright.
search it.
Oh, mine's coming up. I got a fucking ad and like. Wank.
All right, let's get into this. I
Alright, here it
saw
is.
this.
Yeah, here we go. This
About a month
motherfucker's
ago,
name is
and I was
Moneybag.
debating
How am I
whether to do a
supposed to
video
trust
on it
that
or
guy?
not. But today I saw the fourth video linking this to the
How long
Mandela
is it?
effect.
It's 5 minutes.
Which
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch
this
it.
is
I'm just
not
saying,
the Mandela
this guy's
effect.
he's got
if
40,000
these people are
views and
still
his name is
alive 30 years later.
Moneybag 73. I don't think that he's
This
the
video's
one.
being-
So
I don't think he's the one telling the full truth of the world.
So he thinks that all those people are alive 35 years later. But for one of them, I saw he had a question mark. So one of those guys isn't alive? What?
Maybe they just didn't have a photo.
Probably. All right. Have you heard of the Zionist conspiracy?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I'm not super familiar with it.
This is the belief in the validity of information found in the document known as Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Sorry.
Yeah, Zion. The
Zion.
Zionists.
This document consists of instructions directed at the new members of the elders. These instructions describe how the elders plan to rule the world by controlling finance and the media. The instructions outline the.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Ooh, we got a follow. Was that a follow?
Oh shit! I didn't see it. Oh yeah, thank you, Dick Beard. I didn't have. I have the podcast muted so I can watch
There
you.
it is. Yeah, thank you.
Oh man, you covered my face up. My beautiful face. Bro.
I covered up. Yeah, I know. I'm still learning how to do this shit. Yeah. So basically, it's like an organization ruling the world by finances and media. I think that is this the same conspiracy where major like companies like Coca-Cola and other companies are like also ruling the world as we speak?
Well, I think that that's a really common one. I feel like I think it's a really common thing that humans are obsessed with is the idea that there's a few people, whether it's through the Zionists, the lizard people, the Illuminati, we're really obsessed with this idea of the rich and powerful pulling the strings at the top.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is it's really not that far off. I just don't believe it's a conspiracy. I don't think anybody needs a conspiracy to believe that people high up in the government control. I mean, we go to war when they say look at something as simple as with Donald Trump taking office, he's now got lucky enough that Donald Trump got to appoint two people to the Supreme Court essentially, and now the Supreme Court is going to be run by right-wing people for the next 30, 40 years. I mean, just the pure luck. I mean, the people that are in power and get the right timing, they do get to pull strings. We could realistically, in America, that's supposed to be a land of freedom, be looking at a rollback of all LGBTQ rights and all gay marriage, a rollback of Roe versus Wade. We could be looking at all of these in the next couple months to years because there are people pulling strings at the top. Now, I just don't think that it's a conspiracy. I think people in power want power and that they just take it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think it's really a conspiracy. It's probably true.
Yeah.
Freemasons.
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 I don't know if I'm allowed to say this
Because you're a Freemason?
kind of. I'm a legacy.
You're in the you're a legacy? You are an unknowing and unwilling participant of the Freemasons that is waiting his turn to become in power after the death of your father?
My grandfather and my father were Shriners, which work under the Freemasons. You know, they wear the hats and the scimitars.
Shriners are just a subdivision of the Freemasons.
Yeah, they are. They're a subdivision.
You're part of the problem.
Well, I never joined. I didn't take.
You're a
my
legacy.
vows. I'm a legacy because
there is no joining for you guys. You just wait till it's your turn to go in.
Well, somebody comes to you and you're supposed to take your vows.
Maybe you've already. What if you've already?
Now I might get a hit put on me for saying all this out loud.
What if you already took your vows and you don't even know it yet?
They are definitely legit.
What if your dad signed your vows without you knowing, like before you were even born?
But for real, I mean, Musty's right. Like when we were young, the Shriners and the Freemasons here in town, they were well known for bankrolling and sponsoring local businesses
and circuses.
No, that's okay. Yeah, they did sponsor the circus. Yeah. But also they did like sponsor local businesses and use that to wield power. They had a lot of small businesses. They were kind of right-wingist and used what they had to pull strings if they could. But it was on a very local level because the Shriners chapter here isn't exactly enormous.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. It's rich white businessmen watching out for rich white businessmen and doing it in a, to be frank, slightly cultish faction.
Yeah. The article says numerous Freemason conspiracies, such as the political, such as religious, and culture base of them is that the Freemasons and the Knight Templar are devil worshippers and or lizard people, intent upon ruling the world by controlling politics, religion, and culture by infiltrating the structures that shape these aspects. Who were the...
Oh, yeah, sorry, I did. And I didn't watch or look at them. I haven't watched them yet, Loreline, but I'm really salty at all the people they're arresting just for sort of taking issue or being angry.
I keep forgetting this. Who is the group who looked over like the treasure back in like medieval times or whatever? Like they took over, they went to war
Templars?
with a bunch. Maybe that's the Knights of the Templars. That's what.
Yeah, the Knights of the Templar.
I don't know. They were devil worshippers.
Well, they have them from all over the world. There's the Templars from the British area in the Middle East. The African and Egypt place had the Magi that were supposed to be really similar to the Templar. Some people think the Magi worked under Templars, like similar. But all over the world, there's been factions of Templars. They were real. Allegedly.
They were real, allegedly. All right. Yeah, I believe that there's Freemasons.
The Freemasons do wield power, just not in the way that people think they do. They, similar to what Musty said, you want to talk power, rich white men, that's power. That's the biggest power you can have in today's society, is being a rich white American male. And that's what they are. They're rich white American males using their power and influence to build a whiter, maler, more American place.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
A lot of the conspiracies are conspiracies, just not to the point. It's almost like a joke. Like you almost think, a lot of the times I seriously think that people start do you remember in that South Park episode where George Bush tries to make everybody think he's all powerful and committed 9/11 so people would be afraid of him?
Yeah.
but he didn't really do it. He just like sometimes I think the conspiracies are started by the groups so that people think they're more powerful than they are.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, a lot of that is
The
happening.
Freemasons are probably like going around being like, "Did you hear about the Freemasons? They're scary and powerful sorcerers."
Yeah.
And then they go and do their goofy ass fucking handshake.
Or like these organizations are real, but they let the stories that people tell about them go on because they're like, it's better that they fear us than to actually know what we do. You know.
Yeah, fear and consumption keep people in check. Always has. Well, it's so true.
All right, let's go to column behind conspiracy. You heard this
What?
one? The
What
column
was it?
behind.
Oh, the Columbine.
Yeah,
I
Columbine.
didn't. I mean,
I kept
is it
calling
this?
it column behind.
Is it this? Is it the same as like? Is it just that all of the mass shootings are staged by government? Like along with that?
I don't know. Let's read this article.
Because I
It
know that
might
that's
be.
a popular one.
This one says it's definitely a cover up. Let's see.
Yeah.
Terrorists' intent upon believing that the school shooting that occurred in Columbine, Colorado in 1999 was something other than the works of two troubled and disturbed youths, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. I don't know. Is that right?
Yeah. I would have fucking been angry about that name too.
Yeah. Have put forth the variety of theories surrounding this event. Among them are shooter Harris was secretly a Nazi. Sympathizers, upon finding that Klebold was half Jewish, he shot him at the end of the massacre. Another one is the following incident inside the school. Police shot the students fleeing the school in order to keep them quiet. Another one is the entire episode was actually inside job aimed at thwarting
Yeah, you're right.
an upcoming concealed carry vote, thereby giving the government authority more power. The unreleased basement tapes from the school contain vital information that is being covered up. And there was a third shooter named Robert Perry.
To be honest, I don't like these kind because along with some of the other ones I think can at least be fun to speculate on. With the school shootings, for me they're not fun to speculate on because they're such a big deal right now. And even people even getting to think or joke about any of them being conspiracies or fakes leads to people like, I mean, could you imagine being one of the families of Sandy Hook where people were calling and literally just like saying, "We know you're actors. We know your kid like that was fake and that your kid's not really dead." Like right after you had lost your child. I mean, I would be hunting down and murdering every person that called me. I don't know how they can deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, do you research those though? Like, do you look into it? Because I mean, there's a lot of shit out there.
No,
Like
I mean,
with Sandy Hook, there was videos of like people found Facebook pages that were saying their kids were dead like 3 months before the fucking school shooting. There's another one where
I literally believe everything like that. It's doctored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think like the people who post the videos just like doctor those and.
Yeah, I mean it's easy. I mean, you could doctor anything. If you send me a text right now with the timestamp on it, I could color check, cover up, PNG image it, and write in a new timestamp any time. It would take me 5 minutes the same way. I could alter a timestamp this in the same amount of time I can put my head on a dumb picture for a YouTube intro.
What about the footage of the parents who were talking with the news anchors, and right before they go live, they're all laughing and joking and having a good time? And then when the cameras come on, then they turn on the waterworks.
I think that's really just an unfair increment because it's not like being sad. As someone that suffers from depression, I put on a false smile and a fake like laugh all the time because nobody wants to deal with you if you're just sobbing uncontrollably all the time. So like right now, I might be feeling sad. In fact, right now I'm really sick. That's why I was in the bathroom for so long before I came out. But when I get out here, it just goes from blank face to all smiles and ready to do a show. And I think that people can do that. You can be happy. You can be happy joking with someone that you're enjoying the company of and still be hurting.
But like even like right after you lost your kid, like you're gonna be like joking around with the camera crews and shit.
I mean, the world goes on. It's not. I mean, you can't like. It's not like you'll never smile again, even if it's really hard.
No, I understand that. It's just like right after you lost your
Well,
kid.
I can't tell you because I just don't know. I don't think that I can't explain the kind of shock that they felt. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know who they were or what they felt.
Okay. So you wanna? We can skip school shooting ones then.
I don't mind talking about it. My position is that I think of all the fun conspiracies to talk about, I think
Yeah.
that one can be dangerous because that's the kind of thing that people will hold on to, saying that leftists are trying to run gun control.
All right. Well, let's move on to a different one.
But I think most people know that we feel that way because I think I made my point pretty clear when we did gun control too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like anything that could be sort of used to, like, I don't care if conspiracy theorists want to think our government brought down the towers, but you know who might care about that? A family of somebody who died in the towers.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they would be really upset about that. Like the suggestion that, like, because their family was murdered by terrorists, and we make jokes about it being like an inside job, and I could imagine that they wouldn't probably care for that. When you were joking about the one time, there was a famous tape and arrest, I'm pretty sure of. I want to say it was Buzz, where
Yeah.
Buzz
Buzz
Aldrin
Aldrin punches the dude.
punches the dude because he said he never went to the moon.
Yeah.
That's a funny bit.
There's a GIF, and I was gonna put that on as our starting screen one time.
Yeah.
But
I
it just
love
didn't
that.
work very well. But it's hilarious. He's just like, boom, right in the.
But yeah, of all the
right in
fun
face.
things that we talk about, I think that one can just be. I think that's one that makes me nervous because people, as long as people are using it as a real point of belief, they really believe that it was a conspiracy, the government's covering it up, and that those children didn't die, and that mental health's not a problem, and that gun control's not a problem. I think that's dangerous. I can joke about even things like Columbine or 9/11 because they're old enough that they're mostly not affecting. Oh, 9/11 still affects all of our proceedings because shit, man, the Patriot Act and stuff is still floating around, but for the most part, it's kind of gone.
Shouts like my brain. We got serious there for a second. All right,
But we can go back to conspiracies now.
We can get to some more lighthearted conspiracy. I'll have to have those discussions with Alex Jones.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right, our next conspiracy is the Michael Jackson conspiracy.
Which one? There's a couple of
It's
those
the one
too.
where he's still alive.
Yeah, it's still alive.
Alive.
Michael Jackson and Elvis are just hanging out in a bunker.
No, we all know Elvis is tending to the garden at Grace.
Oh yeah,
Graceland.
I forgot about that one.
He gave us the peace sign and the security camera. That was the confirmation that he's still alive.
God.
We all know because that's his signature thing. He would do peace signs whenever there's a camera around.
He's only on MySpace now, the only platform Alex Jones is allowed to be on. Alex Jones. Yeah, Alex Jones is just like, you feel bad for him. Like his production quality is like the same as a Twitch streamer.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's basically a Twitch streamer at this point.
All right, so the Michael Jackson theory is the theory that began at the death of Michael Jackson. It says here, when it was known that it was a problem and that he might be seriously ill, many people suggested that he might be faking it because of he had a foreign illness and the past due to anxiety about upcoming performances, even following
he had severe anxiety disorder. Yeah.
Well, it was going to be his last tour, right? And it was going to be like a really big tour.
Yeah, and he had always had some anxiety issues.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being a child star, I think.
But basically, the theory is that he faked his own death, and so he basically wouldn't have to go on to the tour. And he moved to, let me see if it says here where he moved. Like Guatemala.
Oh God.
And there's like pictures of like some dude in Guatemala walking down the street looks just like Michael Jackson. And
I mean, if anybody faked their death and is still alive, I could see it being Michael Jackson.
yeah,
He always had a flair for the dramatics.
I can see Elvis actually being dead and like he's
Yeah.
not alive, but Michael Jackson, I can see him
No, I
pulling
mean,
something like this.
if I had to pick one person in the world that faked their death, it would probably be Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I'd be like, I couldn't do it anymore.
Like I could see him.
I couldn't do the tour.
He was like a multi-billionaire, stressed out, had the trial. His reputation was circling the drain, and I could see him faking his own death and just like disappearing.
Maybe he like somebody read the numbers and they're like, hey, this tour is not going to do as good. Maybe we fake your death and then we sell the footage of the tour so far as a movie.
And they made so much money off
They
of that.
did. They made. Well, I mean, he faked his death, and then everyone who was like his fucking like critic was like, "Oh, that's King of Pop there. I gotta buy his movie."
Can we also just take a second to Musty was still talking about Alex Jones. Can we just take a second to like think how funny it would be if everyone was pulling Alex Jones off the air because he's really telling the truth? Like if Alex Jones, like the joke I told you, Musty, about how I'm going to write a movie about Alex Jones being a prophet and that everything he ever said comes true. Like, wouldn't it be funny if we were all wrong and like iTunes is pulling him off because he's upsetting the wave of power too much? That would just be the best, funniest thing.
What was his show on? What channel was his show on? Was it? It wasn't.
I don't think was it on a real channel?
Was it on cable or was it just on internet?
I don't even think it was on cable. I think he ran like a podcast.
Oh, really? I thought he had like a kind of like a news show on cable, like on like HBO at night or something.
He would get like featured syndicated radio. He would get brought on to shows sometimes.
Yeah. That would be like one hilarious movie. You should really like draw up a script on that one because that'd be fucking hilarious.
Right? It would be such a funny movie. Except for I'd get sued when I fucking used, because I don't feel like it'd be I mean, I'd have to draw the parallels so aggressively that I'd get sued even if I renamed Alex Jones and took it just like he is so who he is that I would literally get sued for using his character probably.
And he would turn into a giant conspiracy too.
Yeah, of course. But that would just be just so funny if Alex Jones is just secretly telling the truth and they really are turning our frogs gay and we could really like all the stuff he said was just true.
They're putting chemicals in the water. It's turning the freaking frog gay.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back 2, where they travel to Hollywood to get Alex Jones' YouTube channel back. Yes.
So I found the Flight 93 conspiracy, which is the third airplane during 9/11.
Airplane for 9/11, yeah.
The Flight 93 that did not crash on 9/11 after the crew was overcome by terrorists who were then engaged in a battle by the passengers. Instead of the plane was destroyed purposely by heat-seeking missile that was fired from the mysterious white plane thought to be an F-16. According to some theorists, there were not actually any terrorists on board the plane and the passengers were drugged. Another theory is the Bumble plane theory. Conjectures that the passengers from that flight 11 and 77 and 175 were all loaded onto 93 in order to make it convenient for the U.S. government to kill them.
Why? That's crazy. That second one's crazy.
I didn't even know.
All of those are crazy, but
I didn't even know they shot it down. Did they really shoot that plane down?
No, they did not shoot the plane down. But there is some theorists that said they did. And I can't say I don't think that they did scramble jets because it was on the list. Like obviously when you're going through the list of what to do, they did think about shooting down the planes, I think, but before we could make any moves because we were desperately and very wrongfully not prepared for it as we should have been, I think that, like Musty said, they overpowered them and did like the plane crashed before they got a chance to scramble a jet or deal with it.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I mean, that one, I just don't believe that conspiracy theory because
Yeah, I don't think so
shit,
either.
man. I mean, if we were hijacked by a couple of terrorists that we knew we were going to die anyway, I ain't scared of fucking one box cutter. I think I can take that guy.
Yeah, or toenail clippers.
Yeah, like whatever they were using, I think I'll fucking fight that dude.
Yeah. So we both disagree. Bullshit.
Operation Northwoods was against Castro. The CIA was going to load a plane with fake people and crash it into a terrorist attack, blame it on Castro, and use it as an excuse. Kennedy refused to sign off on it. Well, good. I'm glad.
Oh, Kennedy.
That's some fucking Game of Thrones level shit right there.
Yeah, maybe that's why they fucking shot him in Texas.
Right after you fucking he was killed shortly after that.
We just stumbled upon a conspiracy right here.
Yeah, fucking. Like I feel like as someone wrote that order and brought it to Kennedy, the fucking like Reigns of Castamere probably played in the fucking background for him.
Another conspiracy with that is that he was told that UFOs and aliens are real, but he had to hide it from the public, and he didn't want to do that, and he was going to announce it after coming back from that tour.
No,
but
I knew
they killed him in Texas.
Operation Northwood was confirmed, but it wasn't confirmed as the reason Kennedy was assassinated, right, Musty? I mean, that's not, as far as we know currently, that didn't outright have to do with his assassination. Just, it might have.
No. So, do you believe Hitler died? Or do you think he faked his death?
I think Hitler died. I think the more interesting conspiracy theories with Hitler are just how into the occult he was.
Into the
One
occult?
bullet to rule them all. Yeah, like Hitler was super into like magic and shit, and I think that's more interesting than anything else.
I've never heard that he was into magic. Like I've heard that he was like trying to reverse engineer a UFO that crashed, but I didn't know he was into magic.
No, Hitler was like he had a person who specialized in occult magic like on staff.
Yeah,
like
I mean, he had a person for everything, though, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He had a guy. I don't know who was in charge of it. I'd have to look up names. But Hitler had somebody who was in charge of occult magic, black and white magic, yeah. But Hitler had the idea that he could win the war essentially if he cracked it, which is why they did so many really fucked up experiments and things like that.
Really?
They were working on human bioengineering. They were working like for all the terrible things the Nazis did, they were very ambitious in magic and science. Not much came out of it, but that's just because they ended up losing. Spoiler alert: magic didn't save them.
So you think he killed himself then? Like for real?
I
You
mean,
don't think he like ran away? There wasn't like a double.
I think powerful men turn to cowards really quickly when they're cornered.
Okay. Well, I believe that he faked it.
He might have.
I believe they got a bunch of they had at least two body doubles of Hitler, and then they also had
Hitler
one
did
of
use
Ava
body
Braun. And what they did was, I can't remember what the reason was, but basically they faked his death. They put the body double and Ava Braun's body double in the room. She was instructed to take the cyanide pill, and he was shot in the head, but it was made to look like suicide, while the real Ava Braun and Hitler scurried away to I can't remember, Costa Rica, maybe?
There is some lore. I mean, like a lot of people, like some of those really famous people back then did use body doubles. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but
Stalin, Churchill had one.
Yeah, they had body doubles.
Famous celebrities.
He would definitely be Slytherin. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the Slytherins, baby. I just don't believe it because I have a hard time believing somebody with Hitler's tendency to need to be cherished. I mean, I think we can all agree that guy needed to be loved. I mean, that was part of his.
Well, he was suffering from a lot of
right.
Like what he had, He had Parkinson's, right?
He had a couple of things, they think, but all I'm saying is there's no way that he
I
could have
mean, at
laid
some
low.
point you got to go. Okay, it's time to quit worrying about this and focus on me and being comfortable and shit. You know.
Yeah, I just don't think that
He knew that they
someone.
were going to lose the war. He didn't want to stay there and take the hit on the chin.
I don't think he could resist. I don't think that Hitler, being the person he was, with that much grandiose statements, with that much being in the limelight, that much raising to power, I don't think that someone like that could just disappear into mediocrity.
Musty says he had syphilis.
He did have syphilis, which does drive me insane.
Loreline says some people say Hitler was possessed by a demon for the whole time.
I'd like to think that if he was possessed by a demon, then he would have done better in the war. I mean, I guess he was doing good up until we stepped in.
Yeah, he was doing good until Japan like fucked it up for everyone.
Yeah, like we really like we came in clutch. I wish we had done it better. I'm still a little sad that we weren't involved in the war before then. I find that really shameful for America. That it's very generic. How generic or how American that we only stepped in when we were attacked.
Well, that was back in the day when we waited to get our invitations. Now we just like fucking go over and do it.
Yeah, and Musty's right. Like they lost the war. The day they decided to fight the two-front war, like trying to march on Russia and Britain and France at the same time.
Yeah,
that was a bad choice.
Yeah. So we both have different opinions on this one.
I really believe that someone as narcissistic as Hitler could not just fade into mediocrity and live the rest of his life without making a scene.
Well, who says that he faded into mediocrity? Another part of it is that instead of going to Costa Rica, he went to one of the ice caps where they built an underground base where they were going to secretly try to take over the world from under, I think it was Antarctica or something.
But they didn't. They didn't take over the world.
Well, not yet.
Well, but Hitler's dead by now, unless he figured out some supernatural shit. I guess it would be really funny if he cracked the occult and it's literally in a bunker, like possessed by a demon or some shit.
And he's like immortal, like he found the fountain of youth or whatever.
Most of the royal family have had direct links to the Nazi party. I've heard that as well. Yeah, I had heard that.
Yeah.
But that's really not all that surprising. There's a lot of Americans. We were just talking about how Hitler was actually generally supported in America up until pretty late into the. We supported Hitler much longer than we should have, is I guess what I meant.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have any conspiracies on your side? Because I'm all out over here.
1 sec. I just wanted to see. I wanted to see if they had any. I was trying to see if they had any percentages of how much we like sort of backed them, but damn, they don't have like any really good measurements. But we were bigger fans of the Nazis than we should have been.
Yeah, I think we we supported them until we found out there's concentration camps, right?
Yeah, and even then, like I think that we kind of at first didn't believe that was happening.
Well, yeah, because back then it wasn't. It was just word of mouth.
Well, it was really difficult because there was so much. I mean, Germany and America, the hugest. I mean, it's still a big thing, but back then they were very, very good at propaganda. Propaganda videos being made daily, all the time. Like every time you'd go to a movie, there was propaganda at the beginning, propaganda at the end. You'd walk out, there's propaganda like being on billboards, and it was really hard to tell what was factual information.
America saw Germany as an opportunity to make money. The reason America turned was religion.
Makes sense. We're still a pretty religious nation, even though we're not supposed to be.
Aren't we like 75% atheists though?
Not that much.
Like I think Christianity is like second in this country, right?
I think that 83% of Americans identify as Christians.
Oh, really?
The other 13% mostly have no religion, and only 4% sort of have. There's only about 4% of the other major religions. That was as of. Oh wait, that's old. That's old. That was as of 2001.
Oh yeah, I was
So
gonna say
that's an old piece.
I could still be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like no
I don't.
religion or
I
atheism
think.
is the majority here.
I
90%
think.
of Americans believe in angels.
But for real, it's still way more. We're definitely not more atheist than we are religious. It's just definitely not. I'm just trying to see if I can find a stat. What?
You find that stat. Lowerline says 70.6%
There you
Christians
go.
as of 2017. So it's still wrong.
It's a lot of Christians.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard. Okay, here's the 2017 study that Loreline's looking at. And a lot of it's confusing because not all of them believe in each other. But we're getting closer. Apparently, atheists and agnostics are up to close to 20 in the 20%.
Oh, really?
But like that's agnostic and atheist. And a lot of people are unaffiliated. Like a lot of people will just be like, that's really none of your fucking business.
Yeah. So do you have
I
any?
found a 2017 one too.
Does it say the same thing?
Pretty close, I'd imagine. But mine said 20, almost a quarter are up to atheist or agnostic currently. It would be, in a perfect world, it wouldn't even be a big deal if it weren't for the fact that, you know who really annoys me? Nobody annoys me more than the right-wingers because the same way I made jokes about how Southerners are so pro-American when they were the traitors of America. And with that same turn, the same way that Southerners are a joke of patriotism because they rebelled against our country, I feel like right-wing conservatives are a big joke because they're all like, hey, man, we have the right to bear arms because of the Constitution. We believe everything in there. And then they're like, we need Jesus in the White House in the same time when it says to clearly keep church and state separate. Right-wingers are the biggest piece of shit snowflakes. They joke about us being the snowflakes, but you want to talk about gerrymandering the evidence?
Yeah.
Right-wingers, man, they're the worst at it.
So you have any conspiracies over there for us?
I think we hit a lot of the ones I was looking at earlier.
Yeah. What about the conspiracy that King Cord 1 is actually sexy?
That's not really a conspiracy. That's just the truth.
Oh, you're a believer?
Oh, I'm a believer.
I'm a believer too.
What's the secret sauce, Musty?
What is the secret
Is
sauce?
it white snake and underwear sauce?
It's white snake and underwear sauce.
I think we hit all of the. Where are we at for time?
I don't know.
Are we doing okay?
Since we switched to the new computer.
Oh shit! No commands yet.
Yeah, I don't have commands.
I forgot. I agree, Loreline. King Cord is hella sexy.
Conspiracy confirmed.
I believe it.
I think we should have another button. Like we should have the one that says bullshit, but then we should also have another one that says conspiracy confirmed. And it'll come up and it'll go, yeah, from like that.
We've got to be at about an hour 45 because we started just after 4 and it's 5:50.
It's 5:50.
Yeah, so we're rolling up. We're doing
at like 2:10. So if we do some rocket engineering here on our Apple device.
Nope, Julia or Loreline already did it.
Oh, look at that.
Also, you know your OBS tells you at the bottom.
Well, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, and I don't see.
It doesn't have a timer at the bottom.
No, I'm not seeing a timer.
Really?
No.
I've never looked at the overlay, like the.
I wonder if it's like a. I don't know. I'm not seeing one.
Oh yeah, okay. It works differently. Yeah, it looks more like their bot.
Yeah,
it looks like the chat bot.
Right. But
there is a section for it up at the top under editor. It looks like, but
under editor.
Yeah, it says somebody clicked on editor, and at the bottom, it then seems to have some timers running. But
Well, I got
Yeah, that's different.
3.9% CPU, 60 frames per second, 0 drop frames, 6,028 kilobytes per second, and then I got a cloud and an eye.
There's no timer right there.
There's no timer.
What the fuck?
It might be
That's
something
where-
I can add
That's where
down
it
there
should
later.
be, and that's what Musty said too. Next to drop frames. Not a big deal though.
No.
We're about to wrap up. I mean, if we're done
We
with
got
this,
like
then
20 minutes.
Yeah. What are we thinking about? What are we thinking about next week's topic?
You know,
Are we gonna try and shoot for a guest again?
yeah, we can get a guest. We can get.
I know Musty
mean,
and Blue are always good to come
Yeah.
on. They both really enjoy the show, and they both are always willing to come on for a show.
Yeah, or we can try to get Kalhaya on since she missed the last one she was supposed to be on.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
Otherwise, we can find somebody new too. So
Yeah, we can certainly put out some feelers.
put out some feelers, but
Oh,
I
God.
think the next one should be about. I don't know. I was thinking like creepypasta, like our favorite creepypastas, or we can do like anime or some shit like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be lost on that anime one, so.
You what?
So I'm gonna be lost on that anime one.
Let's just binge watch over this week.
Just binge watch. You have what? You have a
Anime and orgies.
what streaming service do you have? Funimation.
We don't use Funimation mostly right now. We'll get it when we need it, but
Yeah.
a lot of good animes are on Netflix, Hulu, or we own them. Like Angel Beats. Do we own Full Metal Alchemist? It's on Netflix, but okay. Well, Netflix has Full Metal Alchemist, for example. We own Angel Beats, Sword Art Online's on a couple. Attack on Titan's on a couple.
Have you?
I think you would like Attack on Titan. That's a pretty fun
I
one.
started it, but I was interested, but I just can't. I'm not a purist with the whole Japanese. Like I have to have English.
That's okay. The American cast for Attack on Titan is great. Matthew Mercer plays Levi, the dead-eyed. You probably didn't get to Levi if you didn't watch many, but Levi's like the dead-eyed badass, and he's done by Matthew Mercer, or the voice of Leon Kennedy. The main guy is done by he just does a lot of American dubs. He's Meliodas. You wouldn't know who that is. He's Kirito and Aaron Yeager, but he's really popular and he's a great voice actor.
Yeah.
They have a really good English voice cast. Episode 16, some shit and stuff.
Maybe one day you, Musty, and I will become super awesome anime voices.
Yeah, right. They only have like 10 people. That's the annoying part. They make it so hard to break
They
into.
do. They only have
Funimation has like 8 people on cast and they do everything.
right?
But mostly because they don't tend to do long running shows, so they don't like get caught up doing them all the time. I don't mind dub. It just depends on the anime. My problem isn't whether I have to watch sub or dub. My problem is I have to watch all the same. If I start it in sub, I get attached to whichever cast I started in.
Yeah.
So if I start it in Japanese, I have to watch it in Japanese. If I have to watch it in English to start with, then when I go to Japanese, it's weird.
Musty says we should do an anime show reel.
Oh,
Dragon Ball
dude,
Z, how's your
Dragon
screaming?
Ball Z show. Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one. You gotta really you gotta get ready to black out that he did while going SSJ3.
Do one?
Did you break your mic by screaming into it that aggressively?
Did I? Can you?
Oh, maybe you were just far backed up.
I was probably.
I could do a Dragon Ball Z scream, but I think I'd give Cal a heart attack. She's sitting right next to me.
Do it.
I don't think she deserves that.
Do it. Everyone in the chat, join me.
I want to know how Musty screamed. Noise gate needed a moment to readjust. It did. It broke it.
Fucking you would give me a heart attack.
I'm always saying that's how I want to go. I want to die in bed.
Do it, you puss.
Okay. See, I feel like King Cords was like a blast attack, right?
Yeah.
He that was like he came right in. I feel like you gotta do more like starting out like the and then your hair starts to kind of like zzz, 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 and I'm doing all the effects like bzz, bzz, and then this thing starts going wow 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 wow, and he's like ah! Oh, see, Cal's looking at me like I shouldn't do that. I could have gone more, but I'm gonna end it there.
That was pretty good.
Okay, can I get a clip on that?
Someone needs to clip both of us.
I'm just gonna make that my new intro.
Every time you start your stream, it's just you, like giving yourself an aneurysm.
Now I want to hear Musty's Dragon Ball Z scream.
Yeah. Next
Musty,
time,
I think you should record an Instagram video of you doing a Super Saiyan scream and put it on your Instagram.
yeah.
I just climax. And then at the end it's like as you're like standing there all powerful.
All right, guys. Well, I guess probably about time to start doing the outro. What do you think? Since we're doing the outro, I wanted to do just another like quick announcement. I went on Streamlabs and I discovered that they have like a merch store.
Yeah, I saw that. It's really shitty though. You shouldn't use it.
Well, I did.
It's bad for your consumers.
Is it bad?
Yeah, I did a bunch of research to like find which ones are better, and I could like link you to a few of them.
Okay, well, I only made like 2 different shirts or whatever.
You can still use the same designs.
Yeah. Musty says use Teespring.
Yeah, Teespring.
Okay,
That's
well,
exactly what I was gonna
I'll check
say.
those out. But I'm the only reason why I did the Streamlab one though is because of hold on, new window. Because it was free to like design it, like it didn't cost me anything really to design, and they take care of everything else.
Nope. Teespring actually works really similar.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it works. It works like kind of the same way.
All right, well, I'll go check that out then. But I also made this really cool, hilarious. Hold on, you're gonna be like covered up for a little bit. Wham. Wham. Okay, I made this really cool. What the shit is this? Why is this happening? Alert for when we get merch. I wanted you guys to hear it because it's hilarious.
Do it. Do it.
Took me forever. Took me forever to make this.
Holy shit. Someone bought a
I'm
t-shirt.
still watching. Am I way behind?
Just a little bit. Just happened.
There it goes. That's good. Holy shit. Was that Musty? Was that Musty's voice?
Yeah, that was a sample of Musty, and that turned him into a text to speech.
That's the best.
So we got that going. Well, I guess then the announcement is we're thinking about making T-shirts then.
Teespring is just you'll give people better. You'll be they don't cost as much. Like I did the research, and you get like you get a lot more bang for your buck for your people. Like you could get like somebody could buy like almost 2 pieces of merch and still give you the same amount of donation on Teespring. Whereas Steam, the Streamlabs, they want to keep a larger piece.
Yeah, because it was like the first one I made, the lowest amount was like $34, and I was like, no one's gonna buy that.
Yeah, you can. So what Teespring does is you can adjust it by how much you want to make. So it's really helpful because let's say you want to offer your merch at a fairly like low price. While we're talking, let me just get in here real quick.
Get in there.
I have Teespring.
Just get up. Oh, you have one already. You have shirt designs for your stream?
No, but I was working on some. Unfortunately, I'd have to get some people I have to get new artwork, and I just haven't had any money.
Well, why is it you never come to me for your artwork?
Oh, you could do artwork for me.
I got Loreline for that shit.
I thought you just said you.
I mean, I could do some too, but Loreline will fight me on who's more creative. And so I just want to avoid that fight and just give it to her.
That seems fair. Wait, do I use Teespring? Is Teespring what I use? Why the fuck isn't it letting me log in?
Is this what I use?
Why the fuck isn't it letting me log in? Did I use a different one? I could have sworn I used Teespring.
Yes, I will fight you.
Yep. So
It's basically just our logo on a t-shirt. The lowest one I had was like it was $16, and it said if somebody buys it, we'd make $4 off of it, basically.
right.
But also, as you guys probably noticed, well, and as we've discovered not that long ago, our bots aren't all up because I switched to the new computer, and so I'm gonna have to go back in and do that. But I wanted to ask, is it even worth it making the mini game again? Because not a whole lot of people was playing it.
People love the minigame on mine. As you get more people, they start to get really into it. Which t-shirt did you do, Laureline? Because it took me a while to look through them. I really liked all of the styles, but I think I tend to prefer slim cut shirts and just order larger sizes. But yeah, the cheapest I think is the 1022. But that's before you do your art. The Hanes tagless is before you actually do like your artwork, I think. It probably goes up a little bit. I don't know if I have any artwork to test, or you can test it if you're pulled up there. But I think that you can kind of like if you added a front design, it adds a little. If you add a back design, and then when you click sell this, it'll let you adjust a slider, and it tells you how much they keep versus how much you make. So if you just wanted people to get your shirts cheap, you could put it at no profit for yourself, or $1 or $2 each. Or if you were trying to make money off of it, you could make the shirts, twice the price and make $10 off it, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it's like on here it's like $20, and on there it's like 30 or 35. I think it's 30. Is it 32 on Streamlabs? I can't remember. It's like in the 30s.
I think it's like 34.
Yeah, so if it's 34 on Streamlabs, on here you could make a $25 shirt and pocket $4 per shirt yourself and keep them almost $10 cheaper.
Okay, well, we'll start looking into that.
Yeah.
And I haven't forgot. We promised Musty Bruce that we'd send him a shirt.
Of course we did.
We gotta make a special shirt for Musty Bruce.
He's gonna get one.
He's gonna get one. Do we ever get?
It's gonna be you and me in like full on tight like man thong swimsuit, like a straight up like
a Borat.
Yeah. That's even good. That's good too. I was actually thinking just the bottoms,
just the Speedo.
Just the Speedo. I think it's gonna be me and King Cord in Speedos eating fudge pops or those strawberry popsicles or something. And we're gonna send that. We're just gonna send that to Musty, and he'll have to wear it and be like, everyone will be like, what the fuck is he wearing? Would you, if we made that t-shirt, would you wear it, Musty?
I know I would.
I would wear that shirt.
I'd wear that shirt every day. I'd wear that shirt to work.
Dude, that would be the funniest. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the store and get some fudge pops and some Speedos, and we're doing a photo shoot. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna
we
be
have to do redo a photo shoot.
Yeah, it's gonna be absolutely fantastically homoerotic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would love to take my kids to school.
You have a hairy chest, right?
Yeah. I've got some hair on my chest.
Perfect. We'll go to like Broken Branch, like one of the lakes that has like the artificial beach.
Oh my god! I hope we go on a busy day too. I want dong outline. Do you want stuffed or unstuffed? Just kidding. We won't need the stuff.
Just kidding.
As anyone who's checked out my FetLife would know, I want dong outline.
That's Laureline couldn't handle the FetLife. She had it. She had it for one day, and then she's like, "I can't do this anymore."
That's probably what I would say too.
Yeah, she was like, "I don't care what you do, but I can't handle this anymore."
Oh my god, that's funny.
So yeah,
So Loreline's maintaining the most straight edge person I know award.
yeah. Loreline is the CM Punk.
Incognito mode engaged.
Way to call me out, asshole. What is that like a bad thing to tell people?
Nah, I'm kidding anyway. I wouldn't shame anybody because just because I'm a fucking sexual deviant freak doesn't mean other people have to be.
Yeah.
I'm all right with people living the not like FetLife life.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for us to do our outro.
Yeah,
The saddest part of our
the
episodes.
saddest part of the podcast.
So next Friday.
If the podcast ever took off, we could actually do like double or triple like episodes, like if we could find enough content to cover.
There's a subject we can do, fetish podcast.
As long as we can make it educational, Twitch can't stop it.
I say we try it.
Also, let's be real. We can get away with almost anything right now because we're small enough that if they shut us down, we would just start a new account with a new podcast.
Yeah, we'll just have to tell all our followers to move over there.
We've got like 40 followers. I think we could rebuild that.
Oh, we have 47 after today.
Yep, we're getting there.
We're getting there. We're 2 followers
How to
away.
cottage in 2018.
How to cottage. All right, guys. So next Friday we're not doing D&D because Nixit and Kalhaya have a dinner.
Yeah, that one's on me. Yeah, we're doing a family dinner with the family that hates me and Cal. It's gonna be great.
And hopefully next week we can start on time with the podcast.
Definitely, yeah. Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, no problems. Just remember to check the date next time you pick movie tickets.
Wasn't me, bro.
All right.
IRL stream it. Just wear a GoPro and stream the awkward like dinner. That'd be pretty. If you there's actually we used to be on really good terms with them. If you go back like 2 or 3 years, we actually have a clip of all of us playing a board game together on my highlight reel. There's literally a highlight reel.
Her side of the family or your side of the family?
No, my side. Yeah. Like there's like it's in my highlight reel. Like if you go into my Twitch and look through highlights or whatever, it's probably like 2 years ago or something, but there's a picture of all, or like a video of all of us being all happy. Then you have to say what chat suggests. Oh God.
All right, guys. So podcast Sundays 3 p.m. Central Time. D&D usually around 7, 8, 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Fridays. Check out the Reddit. I'm still the only one over there, guys.
I haven't gone over Reddit yet.
I'm me.
The co-host, and I haven't gone over to those
yet. I get so excited, and I'm like, I'm gonna go check the Reddit out. Maybe there's something there, and it's just the same shit that I posted like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, apparently you have to have something on there, or else it says you can't find this page.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's been my problem this whole time.
Oh, no, you're fine. Sorry, no. I was talking about Loreline's link to Teespring.
Oh, I thought you were saying the Reddit wasn't working. Okay. Yeah, guys, check out the Instagram. There's Instagram exclusives there where you can see the unboxing of the new computer the podcast just got last week.
Oh, maybe it's just not updated yet, Loreline, because mine still says there's nothing there. Did you get into it, Musty? Is it just mine? Maybe I can close it.
And we also have the YouTube. You guys can check out the videos after they go live. They go right to YouTube. And then we take the sound file from the video and put it on SoundCloud, which RSS feeds it to our iTunes. So if you have an Android or an Apple device, you can listen to it. And you can listen to it while you're vacuuming.
There we go. Now it does link.
Office. Did you ever like pop in on the last Q&A?
I did not. I was out at dinner. $10 for the mug, dude. I would definitely buy a mug.
I basically explained why I always say that. Like, you can listen to our beautiful voices while you're vacuuming the CEO's office.
Because you used to clean offices,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I told that story. I was pretty.
I knew that about you.
And I also did hard-hitting interview questions for getting a job because I was basically I was by myself. Shout came in for a hot minute, and Gray came in for a minute. But that was pretty much just me, like, just rattling off questions to myself. So
They should do. I'm gonna special request eventually a. Do they do? Actually, does this even have zip up hoodies, Loreline? Eventually, I want a zip up hoodie with the Nevermind logo on the back because I fucking hate pullovers.
yeah, I hate pullovers too. I'd rather have.
So
zip up.
if they have a zip up, obviously you don't want to do it on the front because then it always looks bad. But I would love to do one with a zip up with it on the back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Plus,
Yeah,
a lot of people see you from the back. You walk past them, they're like, "Oh,
I mean,
what's
I
that
was
Nevermind
thinking
thing?"
like T-shirts. I was thinking hats, coffee mugs.
Yeah, and eventually, like, we might also want to slap a visual like twitch.tv/ the Nevermind podcast on there, because otherwise, even though the logo's beautiful for things like the mug or something, if
Yeah.
you're walking in public with the logo, someone might not like they wouldn't know what that was or what to go find.
Right. We'll have to do that. So yeah, I think guys, go check out stuff. If you haven't seen any of the other episodes, go check them out. They're all on YouTube. If they haven't expired here on Twitch. Otherwise, if you just want to hear our beautiful voices while you're working, or just want to hear us over your car speakers, go to SoundCloud or iTunes. Let's make podcasting great again.
Make podcasting great again.
That's what we're doing. Let's make podcasting great again. That was another thing on the Q&A. I kept doing Trump hands every time I was talking.
Well, that's how can you resist?
And I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, why does it keep happening?
Dude, it's hard doing it by yourself.
It is hard. I was hoping you'd step into the chat, but
I literally was going to, but you went live literally as I sat down to like a sit down dinner.
oh really?
Yeah.
Next time, message me, and you and I can have a surprise. Okay, I'll do that,
Plus,
Musty.
if it was me in the surprise Q&A, it would just all be like, how many things in your life have you like jizzed on? That's
Yeah,
like all my questions are
It was
ridiculous.
actually surprisingly not sexual this time because you weren't there.
Because I wasn't there, yeah.
It was more about me finding a job.
That's nope, not for me. If when I'm there, it's all about sex all the time.
All right, guys.
I'm a sexual person.
I think I've said all the ending things, right? I'm not missing anything.
I think you're good.
I think I'm good.
I'm gonna get that mug though and drink out of it on podcast days.
I think the Nevermind podcast mug.
Wait, did you run a temporary sale? Oh, that's interesting.
What?
It says 3 days left to buy. Now I feel like it's so effective. I'm like, oh man, I have to buy that. It must run campaigns. Like you pick like a date for closing the sales, then you can like so that you could do different like fall collection versus summer, etc.
Yeah, Musty, if you want to come on to do a Q&A this Friday, that'll work. Because Nick's has got another dinner.
That's true.
Friday.
I do. Although I feel like you should do the Q&A when I can be there, because I would definitely want to watch a Q&A with you and Musty.
They do always available around every 3 days.
Okay. Always available. That makes sense. So it just looks like it's about to run out every 3 days.
Well, I mean, what time is your dinner?
I don't know. Just do whatever you got to do, man. The dinner.
Yeah, we'll figure it out when it comes to Friday.
I'm gonna try and spend as little amount of time over there as humanly fucking possible. So
Yeah.
however long that ends up being, it's that.
All right, guys, this is starting to feel like it's dragging on. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. We both love you all. Thank you for coming. Thanks for being in the chat. Even when we got serious, you guys stayed around. We all love you. Have a beautiful day. How likely are you to recommend Microsoft Edge web browser to a friend? Get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to end my goddamn podcast.
Not likely now, motherfucker.
I'm never gonna advertise your shit fucking browser. All right.
Except for if they sponsored us, we'd be like, Microsoft Edge now for all you and your friends.
If they sponsored us, I guess we'd have to like, oh, there goes my camera. We'd have to like delete this video so they wouldn't see it.
That'd be funny.
That'd be hilarious. Oh, hey, there's me. All right, guys. Now that all the shittiness is over, we'll see you. Bye.